All right, hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ramon Wilson, aka Mr. Wealthy by Nature, on behalf of DealWorks Investments. And today, what I want to do is I want to show you guys a routine and some things I do with my leads when I get them, and how I employ some software that I use to validate leads and to also find out where the hot markets are that I'm looking at. I'm in actually two markets right now here in Texas. I'm in Central Texas, which is Austin, Killeen, Temple, Corpus Cove, Belton, Bell County area, and I'm also in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I have bird dogs there, and I also have a realtor in that area that's a cash buyer that buys a lot of properties. And so she's reached out to me to use some of the techniques I've been using to bring her some leads and things of that nature. So I thought I'd share this with everybody out there on my channel, my Facebook group, things of that nature. So I just want to show you guys some things that I use and how you can use some of these free techniques that I use to find out where your cash buyers are and how to find areas in your county and in your city where a lot of cash deals are going on. So first things first, if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, do me a favor, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. I'll try to put as much content out as I can when I'm not busy and making videos like this. But first things first, as you can see, I got my actual Excel spreadsheet. I purchased vacant and absentee properties. Sometimes I get different ones, but those are the main two I look for from a vendor, and he sends me some pretty good stuff. So what I do is, I open up my spreadsheet, and what I do is I open up Zillow, and I use a software called Privy. And for this demonstration, we're going to use Dallas County, which is the city of Dallas, Fort Worth, that area, Richardson, all around. And I'm going to show you how you can find off-market deals and properties and validate, the price margin, find out who the owners are, and you can go out and do your due diligence and actually go out, look at the properties, and maybe land some deals with this technique and what I'm using on a day-to-day basis. Now, Privy, it is a trial. If you want more information, you can definitely get that from my description down below in the video, but it does cost. And for those of us that are out there that are just starting out, just to let you know, free only gets you but so far, especially in this business. You definitely have to reinvest back into your business if you're going to be ahead of the power curve, because a lot of your big time investors are out there, wholesalers, fix and flippers. They're definitely using technology and softwares so they can get a gaining edge on the next man and next woman that's out there doing the same thing they're doing. So if you think that you're going to get along in this business by doing free stuff, I'm telling you now, it's not going to work. Same thing with the education. I mean, YouTube can only get you but so far, but when you're in a community and you can reach out to individuals for help when you really need it, that's what's important. YouTube is a great tool, don't get me wrong. I'm actually making this video and putting it on YouTube, but to be able to reach out to someone that's on YouTube, these gurus and big time investors, is definitely hard to do if you're trying to reach out to them and need a question answered and things of that nature. So just keep that in mind when you're in business. Doesn't matter if it's real estate or anything. Don't be afraid to have a scarcity mindset. Go ahead and invest in your company and your business, if you can, because it definitely will catapult your business to the next level when you invest back into your business. All right. So, and it's also a tax write-off if you know about tax and legal and things of that nature for your business. So definitely a powerful way to scale your business. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, what we're looking at right now is Privy. So what we're going to go in, we're going to find a property in the Dallas area. So I'm going to go down, I'm going to look for something in the Dallas area, single family. All right. So as you can see, I got this. We're going to look at this property right here. All right. So we're going to look at, I already looked that one up. I highlighted that for a reason, is because it meets the criteria of one of my buyers. So I'm going to come back to that. We're going to look in Dallas. Let's go in Dallas. All right. So we know that these are Pretty sure these are condos. Yeah, as you can see, condo. So we're going to look for a single family. We're just going to look it up. All right, we're going to look in. Let's look in Dallas, single family. Let me look. Let me see. All right, so we got this one right here. So we're going to look at this right here, this property right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and I'm going to make sure that this is the property address. All right, that's the property address. And then I'm going to go over and I'm going to look and see who the actual owner is. So we're going to come all the way across. All right. And I'm going to look and see, okay, first name is John, last name is Alexandrius. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this property address. So I'm going to go over to Privy and I'm going to pull a live CMA on this property. So I'm going to clear this and I'm going to come over back to my list. All right. And this is really time consuming. You know, if you are building out and you have your own VA, you can teach them how to do this. But I'm not to that level yet, so I don't mind doing this. Plus, I can learn as I'm doing this, and that way when I do get a VA, you know, I can train them on the right ways and my specifics and what I'm actually looking for. So I don't mind doing this. So we're looking at 7927 Alpha Road. 7927 Alpha Road. So we're going to come over here. We're going to put 7927 Alpha. All right, and I'm just going to hit that, and what it's going to ask me is, do I want to do a live CMA, because it's no, that's not on market. So we're going to put 7927 Alpha Road, and we know it's Dallas, Texas. Let's get that zip code, 75240, 75240. And 9 times 10 is a 2-story. We can get the square footage. Let's look at the square footage. 1191. So 1191. No basement. All right, we can find the asking price or the actual value. And these are just rough figures. So we can go over here and we can see. All right. See what they're asking. Boom, boom, da da da. Let's see what they're asking. Loan value. So the value is 83. So we'll just say 83,000. We'll just say 83,000. All right. And we're going to conduct a live CMA. Now what it's going to do is going to go out and it's going to find it. Now as you can see, it already pulls up that it's off market. All right, and this is why I like Privy. Okay, so we're going to expand this so we can see this a lot better. All right, so we got it expanded. All right. All right, so what we're looking at right now, we're going to look at all activity in this area. And what you'll find is, if you go back, if you scroll up here, we're able to see this is our subject property right here. And we're able to see what others are going for in that area. Okay. Now, what I like to do is I like to come over here to the Dallas County Tax Assessor's Office. And every 254 counties in the state of Texas. And if you know what county you are in, you can just go and type in, like for me, I live in Bell County, it's Bellcat. But for Dallas, you just type in Dallas Tax Assessor's Office, and it'll bring this up. So if we're going to look this up, and just to make sure and verify that his name was John, we're going to look this up. So we're going to look him up and make sure that he is the actual property owner. All right, remember we went back here and we're going to look and see if John, this is who owns this property. So it's going to open up the tax assessor's office for us, and we're going to be able to type in that property. All right, we're going to be able to type this in. All right, and you can do this, search for your property here. All right, we click there. You can do this, like I said, if you're in the state of Texas, pretty much any state that you're in, you can just type in the county and type in tax assessor's office, and you can find this. And all this is open for public record, so it's not like you're violating anything like that. So we're gonna do address search. All right. So we remember that the property was 7927. 7927, and it was Alpha Road. And you just come down, so we type in ALPA, and then we're going to look for a road, and we're going to hit search, and it's going to pull up the tax record. Okay, so it has one match, and there he is, John P, and there is the information. Now we can actually look at the record, the property record, and see how much this thing is worth. So we know now this is his address, his physical address. This is the property address. All right, so you could, if you're out there, you're doing yellow letters, or you're doing mailings and postcards and things of that nature, you could send Mr. Alexandris, you know, a yellow letter with a picture of their property, like, hey, you know, I've noticed that the property is vacant, or, you know, no one's living there. Just wondering if you were, you know, looking to sell. Or you can drive out and look at it. So as we know that the property, the market value is $132,000. And right now, from what we pulled, we're looking at about where was it at? We're looking at about 83,000 is what they have it valued, is what the lead's saying that it's valued at. So what we do is we just come over here to Privy, and what we can do is we can look at this property. See, this is our investor comp, so we're looking at all activity. And what we can do is we can actually go and look and see in the past 8 months what's sold close to this. So let's see something close to this that actually sold. All right, so we can look at, let's look at this property right here. So we can go up and we can look at, let's look at, and as you can see, this is an actual, we'll blow this up. This is the property, and you can see this is a road, so we don't really want to cross that road. 184, all right, 202. So this is active. This is actually on the market right now. This one's sold. So let's take a look at this one. Let's take a look at this one and see what it looks like. And the reason why I like this is because now, if you're a fix and flipper, you're able to see. So it's sold on April 12th, 2018. And even though Texas is a non-disclosure state, okay, we can actually go and see, all right, what was the time, days on the market. It was only on the market for 21 days, all right, which is good. So you know that's, you know, if you already get a property in this area, you know, you could be talking to your fix and flipper, or if you're a buy and hold, you can expect, you know, what time frame that you need to have your property finished and done, just going off of some of these numbers of properties that sold in the last 8 months in this area. And it actually sold for 184. Okay. Now another cool thing is, so we can go here, we can click all activity. All right, so you can actually see again what sold, and you can look at, they're actually matching up. Okay, all right, and that's the cool part. Now another thing you can do, remember this, I was telling you, so not only can you run live comparative market analysis on that, you can then come back if you want to go real in depth. All right, so we went back, we looked at the county assessor's record. This is straight from the city, the county, Dallas County. This is the record. So 132. So we're gonna remember that. Remember 132,000. All right, And then what we could do Privy, what I do is I come over here. All right. And the only reason why I really use Zillow is just to see if I can, just to look at their numbers to see how they compare to this. Zillow is usually sometimes off, but what we can do is in Privy, we can go back, we can clear this, and we can actually go into here. All right. And we can go fix and flip. We can go spread. We're going to go 70% or 30 cents on the dollar. We're going to go single family, attached, sold, and then we could put a zip code. Remember that zip code, 75240. Okay, and we can come down here and we can go in the past week. So we go the past 12 months, and we want to see, all right, we want to see days on market. So we want to see sold date. All right, and we're going to hit search. And what it's going to do is it's going to go out and it's going to search. So we got 5 properties in that area. All right, Clear Spring. Remember, our property was over in this area. All right, it was over in this area. So we're in there. So what we can do is we can get that it's not a lot of activity in this part of Dallas. All right, as far as cash buyers. But what we can also do is we can go back and we can change this to active in search, and then we can see which ones are actually active in that area. So we actually have one more property it's active in that area. So this is a pretty upscale, $500,000, $500,000, $500,000 on this side over here. All right, and what I also can do, I can draw. So I can draw this whole section right here, and it will pull me anything inside of there. All right, so we can see active 265, 221, 799. All right, so just from here at 139 on anything on this side of the street and on this side of the street is your upscale. All right, we can also go back, come back to sold, search, and you can actually click on this and see when it sold. So this one sold August 15th. All right, and a cool feature that Privy has, we can get before and after pictures. So if you're doing your fix and flip, all right, even though they didn't have the before picture here, which sometimes it doesn't always update, but you can see the scale, hardwood floors, the lighting. You'll know what will get this property sold just by looking at the after pictures on this property. All right, you can look and see, okay, this is what we need to do if we're doing a fix and flip. Okay, to get this property sold, we need to have the same type of amenities and carpet, color, things that are going to make this thing pop. Because as you can see, all right, days on the market, this thing was only on the market for 40 days, so a little over a month. Whole time was 162 days, but it was only on the market. So altogether, you're looking at about 200 days. Okay, about 200 days, which is, I mean, this was probably a full rehab. They put a lot of work into this, but this is another tool that you can use. Okay, if you're a wholesaler, okay, and this is pulling straight from the MLS. Okay, this is pulling active, and you can actually share this. So if I wanted to share this with any of my team members or anybody that's in my list, I can go ahead and send it to them. I can add a little note in here, and I can actually send this to them if I wanted to. And again, you'll be able to pull the comps and everything right from here, so you're able to see what's going on, all right, and what they sold for, these other properties in the last 8 months. All right, sold for some great prices. You know what I'm saying? You got 249, 250, 260, 180. This one sold for 180, which is close to it, 180,000. So if you're a wholesaler, you're getting good idea of where you need to be to make this property, all right, be able to sell. And again, this is just one way that I use Privy, and I also, I get the information from the county tax assessor's office. All right. I get this information from there and I use it, and I come back here and I analyze deals that way. And you can save the search. So if I wanted to save this search, I can name it and it will send me alerts daily, hourly, or never. If anything pops up, sold, bought, or goes on the market inside of here, I'll get an email saying, hey, something meets your criteria, which is this criteria right here. Okay, 70% of the ARV fix and flip. And if I had any other information in here, city, it would alert me anytime any of that happens. So this is just one tool and one way that I go through. I do about 2 hours a day. I go through like I'm doing now, and I'm actually going through and scrubbing that list. And then what I do is I email my bird dogs that is out there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area who works with me, and he goes through and he looks at the properties. He schedules any appointments or anything of that nature, and then of course he gets a percentage of whatever we close on the deal. Okay, and that's how I'm leveraging someone else's time to make more money in my business. So he's also learning, I'm making a profit, my buyer's happy, and again, we can run comps. She's a realtor as well as an investor, so she runs her own CMA along with my CMA, and we meet in the median, and then we see how we can, negotiate the deal to make things happen. So this is an awesome tool. Like I said, I didn't go in here fix and flip, ARV 70. I love it. I love it. Single family, we can go sold, and we can go past, like I say, I use 12 months, days on market. We go sold date, and we hit search, and Privy goes out loading, and you'll see this whole thing just be filled up. Watch, it'll be filled up. Look at that. And this is how I find where the hot markets are in Dallas-Fort Worth. So I know that Southwest Dallas and Northeast Dallas is very hot. So I can zoom in. I can zoom in. And I can pick a whole area. I could pick a whole area. Let's zoom back out. We're going to zoom back in. Corsicana. So I could pick a whole area. Like if I wanted to pick this little area right here, I wanted to look at this area right here. We can do like that, and what it's going to do is it's going to tell me how many properties in there. 127. 127 in this area right here. So if I want to just look and I can see what they sold for, these are 100, so I could take my drawing tool again and I could draw just this little area right here. And now what it's going to do is we got 13. So I can look, I can see what's sold, and I can also come back and again I can see what's active. Now these are on the market, but it's telling me, all right, that I got some in that area. So what me as a wholesaler, what I would be doing, even though they're on the market, which means they're probably dealing with a realtor, what I would do, I would find where the zip code is. So if I'm putting out my bandit signs, all right, I'm looking at 75241 zip code. That's where I'm going to be putting a lot of my bandit signs at if I'm a wholesaler, because I know that, all right, like I said, it's sold. Days on market is very low, very low. Nothing's past 60 days in the past 8 months when it went on the market. So that's good, especially for your hard money lenders and things of that nature. Also get to see some before and after pictures. This was before, this was after. All right, not too many, but I know that, You know, they didn't have hardwood floors. So that's what, you know, things that they're adding, some new paint. That's how we know that we know we need to. And it tells us right here, they got this house for what? $27,500. All right. And they sold it for $122,500, a change of $95,000. Now that is a profit. They got the property. They sold it for $122,500. All right. Days on market was 50 days. They had this property for a long time though. So this was probably a full rehab. But this is just some of the tools that I use when I'm looking as a wholesaler and helping out my investors, you know, better understand the market. And I use this, like I said, these are free tools right here. The County of Texas Assessor's Office. And like I said, I get my list and I go out there and I look for property. So let's do another one. Let's look at another one. Dallas. All right, let's look at this one right here. Let's look at this one right here. So we'll go over. What is that on? That is on 541. So I'll look at 541 and I'll take it and I'll come all the way across 541. Boom, boom. All right. And we'll go and we'll do the same thing. I'll come back. I'll come to Privy. I'll clear this out. And I'll clear this. And I'll go to property tax lookup. I'll come over to Privy. I'll hit enter. Or you can type something in there and it'll just pull up. All right, and this is just going to show you the active market. So we'll type in 1, 2, 3, we'll hit enter. And you just click CMA and we'll come back. So I hope everyone is getting the gist of what I do. Again, it is time constraint. I mean, it is time consuming, but I don't mind doing it because this is what I like to do. So we're going to look for 12008 Belafon. So we're going to click in here and I'm just going to copy this. That way I don't have to keep doing that. So we're going to go there and we're going to type in this address, paste, and we're going to say Dallas, Texas. Dallas, Texas, 75243, 75243, 75243, and we know it's 1 story, square feet. Where's my square feet? It's 1188. Basement, none. And we'll see what the asking price or the property value is worth. And we'll come over here and we're looking at, so we'll say 86,000. We'll go on the high end, 86,000, and we'll search live CMA. And again, off market. And the zip code, let's see what the zip code is. 75243. So 75243. So let's just see what's going on around here in these parts. All right. So we see that some other ones that sold. Let's look at all activity. And we already can see that some have sold. All right. Nearby. So had one that sold, they got it for 88.5, they sold for 159. Days on market 27, sold in November of 2017. This one sold around the same time, got it for 99, just under 100,000. They sold it for 155, $55,000. Okay. Days on market 40. What else we got? Let's see here. active comps. So we already know that this is underpriced right now. All right, this is what they're asking. And like I said, as a wholesaler, and look at these numbers. The longest day on market was 144 days for this property. So right there, that's an indication that you know, I would definitely take a look at this property. All right, and these comps are all within that neighborhood. You got a major highway here, major highway here. It's close to a hospital. So I would definitely go out and look at that, you know. And again, if you have a realtor on your team or someone that has access to the MLS, you can pull this and do your own comps. But we can look at another property so this is our subject property right here. So we can actually, that's a 4-1, and this is a, let's see what this is. This is a 3-2, if I'm not mistaken. It says 2-1. So beds before 3. Okay, fine. Okay, so yeah, you definitely, I would want to go out there, but you can see what these other ones have sold for. 130, 110. So let's take a look at that one. Let's take a look. So as you can see, you got some nice pictures, and this one sold on August the 30th of this year. All right, 3-bed, 2-bath, just under 1,500 square feet. All right, and it tells you right here, property needed work. It's sold, so they're definitely going to rehab it because you already seen what the other comps were like. All right, days on the market, was only on the market for 24 days. It was only on the market for 24 days. And like I said, you can go back and we can see what these other properties are already selling for in that market. So yeah, I would definitely go put an offer in, see what happens. But that's what I do. That's what I do, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, I didn't want to make this too long and drawn out. Like I said, I use the tax assessor's office in the county that you live in. You can pull the information, and you can do this even if you don't purchase leads from the sources that they have all over Facebook and things of that nature. If you're out driving for dollars, you can get that information, go back home, go to your county tax assessor's office, type in the information, find out who the owner is, and then, you know, work it from there. If you don't have the money to pay a realtor, you know, to run CMAs for you and things of that nature, again, you'll get the address, the physical address of the owner. And I would send one to the owner and also one to the actual property address. You know, that's one way you could do it. You could leave something in the door, things of that nature, to try to get in contact with the seller, to find out if they're willing to, you know, sell their property. Are they willing to sell it? They're looking to, what are they looking to do? You know, you found a property, and you definitely can do that. Another little trick that I found out too, let's say you do have an off-market property. So like we just saw, so Zillow, you can also find the owner's information on here too if it's off market, because what you can do is you can put in the address, and I'll show you. And sometimes, you know, I would say about 60 to 70% of the time, if it's off market and it's been off market for a while, 9 times out of 10 you will be dealing with a realtor, because you'll see it, and I'll show you. Bellaphone, and it should pop up right there in Dallas, Texas. So let me show you something, how you can get a phone number. So it tells you right now it's off market. All right, and a lot of times if you come down here, it says contact agent or call this number. So if you call this number, I'm pretty sure someone will pick up, and you'll be able to talk to them and find out more about the property. Are they the owner, or are they the agent representing them, things of that nature. And you never know, sometimes you have motivated agents too out there. I don't want to make it seem like agents are all bad, because they're not. They just don't, a lot of them just don't understand the investor side of real estate. And you know, they're working with you. They'll work with you, because especially if you have a good spread like I just showed you, with that property, this is a good spread, man. If they're, the property is worth 86, most sellers, or distressed sellers or absentee, they didn't had it for so long and they don't want it, they're going to try to get retail. But hey, if you're going to pay, let's just be honest, if they're trying to get retail off the other homes that are 187, you can get a brand new home for that built. So you have to keep that in mind. You're a wholesaler, you don't pay retail. So just looking, the before and after, like I showed you, it's probably going to need some repairs. So, you do your calculation, if they're asking, 86, or let's just say 96, you do that times your 70% minus your repairs. You can do a rough estimate on how much you think the repairs would be to get it in that form. Because again, you already know what the other one sold for in the past 8 months in that area. So, 86, let's just say they want 86,000 for that home, okay, and it needs 35,000 in repairs. You're looking at 120. So you're looking at about, so you would have to, for you to be able to make that a deal, you would have to get that home somewhere you would have to get it somewhere around 50 to 55, for you to be able to make it a pretty nice deal. So I would definitely go look at this property. So if you're out there and you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, definitely go look at this. I would try to get it at 55. My highest would be no more than 58. I would say 60 would be my actual maximum allowable offer for this. If they're asking 86,000, that's how much the property is worth right now. That's the current market value, CMV. So but the ARV is definitely, I know the ARV is way up there, because we already seen what the ARV was, if I wasn't mistaken, for that property. And you can pull that from a realtor. But I would I would definitely start the lowest I would go, at the lowest I could possibly go. And yeah, that's what I would do. So I hope this video was informative for you guys. I mean, informative. I kind of bounced around, but this is just the gist of what I do. And I have my notepad and my notes and everything, and I highlight everything. And that's what I send my bird dogs, a package every week. Every time I get leads, I refresh, I scrub, I cold call, ring this voicemail, I do all that, get feedback from that, and then I rinse and repeat the cycle and give it to them again. And that's how they go out and they go find. Instead of having them searching in areas that may not be a lot of buyers, I can use this to find exactly where the hot buyers are, where the actual buyers are at, and where they're buying in what area. Just saves them a lot of time, especially when you're doing your marketing, putting out bandit signs or drop cards and things of that nature. It just saves you that much time instead of just driving, where the buyers are buying. All right. And you'll probably find other buyer signs out there, which you can then collect and call and be like, hey, I know you're an investor, or I see your sign out here, or you're a buyer in the area. Now you've connected with a buyer in that area. So if you have something now, you have created a network and a connection with another buyer in that area. So just something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this is Ramon Wilson on behalf of DealWorks Investments, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment.